Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. In today's video we are talking about another beautiful Echeveria called as Echeveria Mensa. Now in different countries it is called by different names. In some places it's called as Echeveria Dark Desire. In some places it's called as Echeveria Neon Black Pride. But Mensa was the first name that was given to this hybrid. It is an Echeveria hybrid. The parentage and the origin of the succulent is unknown. Nevertheless, it's an extremely beautiful succulent. Right now this succulent is getting into its growing period. That is why it has lost all the color. It's putting out a small tiny bloom. It's an extremely beautiful succulent. You need to give the basic care requirements. I'm putting it in level easy because it's pretty simple to take care of the succulent. The soil has to be loose, porous and well draining. Ensure that you water only when the soil is completely bone dry. Do not overwater the succulent. Do not keep it underwatered for a very long time because it has really thin leaves and they cannot store a lot of water. Mealybugs are not much of an issue, but again, to be on the safer side, always do a routine check once a week or once in 2 weeks whenever there are blooms. That also tends to attract a lot of aphids and mealybugs, so you need to be extremely careful. If you tend to see that there are ants around your pot, then try to sprinkle some dry cinnamon powder probably once in 3 weeks or once in 4 weeks to just be on the safer side. Propagation is pretty simple. You can do a leaf propagation. You can separate the offsets once they reach a decent size. You can do a stem cutting or a beheading as well. Talking about watering, as I said, water only when the soil is completely bone dry. Always ensure that you maintain a proper watering schedule. So for all the beginners, I would always suggest go for a proper watering schedule. Maintain a diary wherein you know when was the last time you watered. A lot of times I see people just randomly water their succulents. Sometimes they water in 5 days, sometimes they water once a week, sometimes they water once in 2 weeks. Try to have a proper watering schedule. If you feel that your soil is drying within 5 days, then probably after 2 days go ahead and water it and try to maintain the same kind of schedule. Again, this depends from your environment. Again, this depends upon your environment, your climate. As seasons change, our watering also tends to change. During summers, the frequency of watering is little more depending on your environment. During the monsoon season, we reduce the watering. During winters, we again reduce the watering. So it all depends upon your environment. So you need to have a proper check about it in order to grow healthy succulents. Apart from that, regarding light, I would request you to give it a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours after acclimation. You can even keep it in indirect bright light, but if you want to have that beautiful color, then you have to expose it to morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Afternoon direct sunlight should be avoided. If you only receive afternoon direct sunlight, you will have to use some sort of filter, probably a shade cloth, to avoid that strong sunlight and only give the filtered light. You can grow it indoors as well, provided that you have a good quality of grow light. So that's all about this simple little succulent. It's very easy to grow, provided that you give it the basic care requirements. If you are a beginner, if you're just starting off with succulent, this is one of the succulent you can add in your collection. It is not frost hardy. It is not. It cannot withstand too much of temperature. If your temperature rise above 40 degrees Celsius, then you'll have to do something about it. Either move it in a place where it is more cooler or slightly cooler, because I know the temperature is going to be warm everywhere, but probably you can surround it with some other foliage plants to give it a little bit of coolness. If the temperatures are really high, then you'll have to move it indoors and grow it under a grow light. Regarding the pot size, I would always suggest is if you're growing an Echeveria, the best pot material would be an earthen pot. You can go for a terracotta pot, unglazed clay pot, concrete pot, or even papercrete pot. These pots, they tend to absorb the excess moisture from the soil. Most of the Echeverias do not prefer to be sitting in moist soil for a very long time, so these pots are going to further help you dry the soil faster. So that's all about Echeveria Mensa. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.